Morgana, keeping Sneaky alive in these long-range team fights. Tahm Kench can do the same. This is very interesting. I actually really love Cloud9's team fight comp. FlyQuest, so they do have the chance for execution here. Backlane access for the LeBlanc, backline access for the Vladimir. They can certainly blow things up too.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting as far as how much the early game does get tilted in their favor, if at all, because I really have to see some neutral ground domination for this to be successful. Get your jungler playing offensively, roaming with LeBlanc. One of the things that LeBlanc can do that Morgana cannot do is work better with the jungler to go find kills on the enemy jungler, because LeBlanc can follow up very easily. Double distortions, super high mobility, and a lot of burst damage. Whereas Morgana, yeah, if you can land an easy binding, then it lasts a long time. But it's not easy to land those, and you shouldn't be able to hit those on something like a LeBlanc or a Rek'Sai even. Yeah, they should be able to dodge it away. At the very least, they get hit, but they still blinked out of range of everything else. So this could be an interesting one to watch out. As you mentioned, Kobe, there's going to be some value in getting the neutral game to go well for FlyQuest. To me, it feels like the 5-on-5 team fight is very Cloud9 favorite, especially with mid lane Morgana, and you've got a damage hit to back that one up. Cloud9 lock a bye with the win. FlyQuest lock 4th place in the regular split with a win. They cannot be caught by Golden Gardens if they win here today. Let's see what they can do. Could even be a preview of the semifinals of the LCS as we get ready to go on to the Rift for Cloud9 versus FlyQuest. Got to shout out my boy Turtle, though. Also sporting a new bowl cut. If you see on the player cams there, I'm liking the style, heading into playoffs with confidence.
It is a bold choice here, Kobe, and we are on to the Rift. Starting with the pun, we're ready to go here on a week 9. Cloud9, 12 wins, FlyQuest at 9 themselves. Ready to hit this one, and Pastry has Invert by his side to talk about this game.
Thank you very much, Invert. It's great to see you once again, and I have to say, in your recent vlog that we actually saw before the show started today, you mentioned in your match versus Team Liquid that you feel like you maybe didn't set the team up in that draft very well. So now against Cloud9, how do you feel you set this draft up for yourselves?
I thought we got a really strong mid-jungle and then a good top line because they banned a lot of Vlad counters or Vlad lane counters. So we have really strong team fighting. We have a 1-3-1, and they're playing a Tahm Kench without a split pusher. So I feel pretty confident about this draft, and hopefully we can execute correctly on it.
Well, we'll see how it does. Thank you very much for having a chat with me. It's back to the guys for the call.
Definitely an interesting take here. It does rely, again, a lot on that execution. And the point about Tahm Kench, now, one of the maybe bad things about Tahm Kench that people don't often talk about, because he's so good at enabling split push and enabling cross-map plays, within a team fight, he often does get outdone by a lot of other supports. But again, if you're able to save the Jinx during a critical moment with Devour, then that's all the value that you really do need to supply for a 5-on-5.
When Vlad jumps in, get her out of the E, get her out of the R, and then she can do damage afterwards. That'll be kind of what it's up to Zeyzal to do here as we get into this one.
And if you are really looking further ahead to the 5-on-5s, I feel like it is so hard to outplay Ornn Initiation with Jarvan and a Black Shield plus Devour surrounding a Jinx. So we shall see if they can pull it off.
Okay, well, right now Svenskeren's actually spotted by the Tremor Sense here. And we'll see if mid lane pressure can make that happen. He's going to clear the ward off first, but knows he's spotted. EQ is down.
Oh, yeah. That's coming. To go.
Will Santorin burn flash for the knockup? They've got JayJ nearby. He's going to burn that one, but who else is here? You've got Zeyzal jumping in and just give him the Guardian Shield. Doesn't have the W, but 2 flashes burned for just the one of Svenskeren.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to get the Scuttle Crab afterwards, but 2-for-1 flashes in the bottom lane. It will be a deficit there for JayJ and WildTurtle. They won't be able to go as aggressive, looking for kills maybe. For Rakan's benefit, at least he can still have a way out if Turtle positions defensively, and they do get ganked though.
Now the saving grace, he won't have the flash engage later on, but he won't be 6 before that comes back anyway, so that's, not the hugest of problems, and maybe a gank turns it around, but likely not.
And in the end, you do get a bit of momentum for Santorin, right? The Rek'Sai gets to take the Scuttle Crab. There's a huge chunk on Svenskeren's health, who has to walk pretty far around to the top side to get his own Scuttle.
The 2 fight pretty closely there. Black Shield gets some of the damage off. Pobelter still feels comfortable. Puts in a Q, and mana pool's pretty close to equal. Health bar is about the same as Wave Clear continues here for Niski.
And that's the goal, right? With your Morgana matchup, especially early on into the LeBlanc. Just trying to use the minions to your advantage, spam your pools down,
Yeah, try to lifesteal off the LeBlanc, which he goes for you. Nice big root right there. Boom. Good for Zeyzal, had to burn the flash and didn't use it when trying to save Svenskeren. That's crucial because he might have gone down there. That 2-on-2 looks really good now for FlyQuest.
Yeah, it definitely does. FlyQuest with a health lead on the bottom side, plus they're the ones with the teleport on WildTurtle. So if they can chunk out Cloud9, force Sneaky into a recall situations, they gain a huge amount of experience. You get more damage on the turret. You can get turret plates with the quick reset of an early game teleport. They're definitely going to be able to use a summoner spell advantage after JayJ lended his towards the jungler in the beginning.
FlyQuest didn't burn a single summoner in that fight. 3 got lost out of the C9 side, so Sneaky with the flash is all that is left. Once again, looking at the stakes here, Cloud9 secure the bye. FlyQuest will lock 4th seed with respective wins for these teams. And we wait to see now what else comes through as this top lane, as you heard Invert say. I mentioned that all the Vladimir lane counters are gone, so they can just play it safely. Right now, that farm is close to equal, but Licorice certainly never going to really jump down the Vladimir here.
Yeah, there should not be a world where an Ornn ever solo kills a Vladimir. No ignite or anything here, and there's nothing really to be worried about for Vlad. You can sustain very easily, spamming your Qs, farming up, so you get a little bit of cooldown reduction as well, and skill into that late game beast.
And now you've got a Jarvan gank, and those actually wards aren't going to spot him coming through and around the top side.
far
They're
up,
burning,
too.
so the spell's going to go in. The Chopper's almost catch, but not quite. JayJ, though, at 300 health, and he does not have a flash. There is not a way out. This is assuredly a kill, and it's going to be taken over by Svenskeren. Electric grabs it. 400 gold to the jungler.
Yeah, super aggressive positioning there from FlyQuest, even going under the turret and taking turret damage here without any information on Svenskeren, who shows up at the perfect time there for Cloud9, and they convert.
It's definitely a bit aggressive, and that's going to punish them. So now the game in C9's hands. They fight for second. Scuttle spits it away. Santorin's not in range to stop this one. Even Sneaky helping. Okay, okay, it's fine. He smited it. That did go to Sven. That's going to be just fine. Nice attempt by Svenskeren. Sorry, by Santorin.
Yep. He's going to poke around here on the top side, too. Places a control where it looks like he wants to track Svenskeren. Will the LeBlanc get close enough? I think it's just going to be a little bit of damage given over.
Okay, fighting right here. Conqueror stacking up. Did not get to land the E for damage out there. Sven jumps away, sits in a ward, puts his own down, kills it off.
Yeah, nobody else is close enough here to really make that play turn into anything else. It does mean that Morgana was drawn away from that wave, by the way, that's pushing towards Pobelter, towards the LeBlanc. So Morgana missing out on a little bit of CS during the time. It's level 6.
Gonna land the first chamber, trade it back with the ultimate, staying in range for all this. Now gonna have to flash over the knockup. Could be there, not quite yet. A knockup comes in, the ignite is on, that auto might just do it. And Niski will burn down. Will it be traded back on the Santorin? Yes, Licorice finds that kill after burning his teleport.
Yeah, he's able to bowl him over right there. But man, I thought Niski almost was gonna live too. He lands the point blank binding onto Santorin when he comes in on the wreck side. Not enough to save his life though, as it's 1-for-1.
Ooh, when a turret plate falls, not anyone around to hear it, like the proverbial tree in the forest. So gold not given over, sadly, to FlyQuest. And they miss out on the 160 there, but it's still turret damage overall as we watch that fight in the mid lane again.
All right, so again, Niski's gonna hit his level 6 off these minions that are dying right now. Pobelter gets his level 6, immediately goes in. Everything from Niski does land though. He's able to pop the ultimate, flashes away, uses his binding on the wreck side that's coming up the river to try and save his life. The ignite does finish him off, but then again, Licorice has teleported in from the top side and he's gonna collect.
Yeah, doesn't make it happen. Lands both halves. The ultimate, there's the pickup. This game's still 700 gold apart as wave clear continues on and Santorin goes back to farming.
All right, let's see how this is gonna turn into some vision down this river. I think it's gonna be so important for Cloud9 to keep track of Pobelter on this LeBlanc. That kill for FlyQuest went into the right spot for them. They want Pobelter's LeBlanc to be mobile. This is a burst assassin, and really to enable your burst assassin, you have to have vision control of the river to allow that assassin to move around the map.
Oh, they might try. Those are chompers that are pretty important right there, and even still, Zeyzal had the Devour, so no fight to be had, just a shield coming in. Does force the Jinx back for a little bit, still gets most of the farm, not big problems here. Both these bot laners scale very, very well, and there's not actually that many good mid-range threats against a Xayah, so even though there's a range disparity in actual team fights, I think WildTurtle should be able to auto-attack just fine, and will scale similarly to the Jinx, so that's, I think, okay on both teams if this bot lane is fairly close in farm.
Yeah, it is always nice to have your own form of self-peel with the ultimate. when you're facing something like an Ornn. Meanwhile, that vision we talked about in the river has been established.
There's that self-peel. Zap landed earlier and went for the ult.
Yeah, there's going to be a trade of ultimates there. Meanwhile, Svenskeren still in the mid lane, trying to create some room here for Niski so that Pobelter does not take over this game. Chases away the Ghost Portal, but does not stick around for the control ward.
Then a TP goes onto the chopper. This is not good for Turtle. He doesn't have summoners. He's going to be grabbed up, devoured, spit back in, but he's got a quick heal. He's going to stay alive now. Zeyzal has the shield. In comes the rest of the squad. Big damage on Sneaky. The ult's there. He's certainly going to die. And Santorin finds one. Now traded back by the jungler. It's a kill on 2 players.
Whew. Yeah, everybody attracted right down to that bottom side. The big thing is that the kill being on Sneaky denies CS for their Jinx. That's the champion they want fed on their team. They're the 5-man team fighting with Jinx being the damage source. So you want always uptime on Sneaky so he can get CS. Meanwhile, the kill onto the jungler Santorin here, that's just a Rek'Sai. Yep. It's an early game champion, won't mean as much. Regardless though, teleporting onto a minion like that, just asking for flame choppers. Maybe it's a bit of a team bait there as they have Rek'Sai coming down as well, and they do get the kill early here onto Sneaky, which is worth it. Svenskeren does flash out of his own Cataclysm afterwards.
And it means this game still remains pretty close at 300 separating them, but where the lead is, well, it's 200 towards the Xayah, and Ornn is 400 up on the Cloud9 side, and generally speaking, doesn't need to be the one who's fed in this game.
Yeah, look at the CS difference on the bottom side now. Not only was there teleport for WildTurtle, but also being able to get that kill and the huge minion wave they were able to push back in does give some extra, more potency here to the Xayah build. Pobelter, meanwhile, level 9 now on the LeBlanc. Again, pushes the wave, looks for some roam to try and affect the enemy jungle and possibly the enemy bottom lane.
We'll see. Yeah, goes down to that front brush in front of the red buff. Doesn't find anything to do here. And we'll walk right back out.
He does have Ghost Portal himself, so he's also placing the Ghost Portal on enemy territory. That will give you some extra adaptive stats. Still, I believe they haven't changed it yet.
That's still there.
And it's going to give him that extra vision. Again, we're talking about as many possible routes for a LeBlanc to take to roam around towards the bottom lane as possible. So you can have Cloud9 continue to guess.
So down goes the blue buff Pobelter, maybe looking at bottom lane as he didn't snap back. So it's maybe the Mountain Drake, it's their dual lane who is shoved and coming up.
Yeah, they definitely have some vision here for Cloud9, so they're going to have something to say about it.
Now, Svenskeren's flashless. It's a one-way trip to go for that unless Zeyzal can get him over the wall.
Yeah, Niski's so far away. I don't think there's a fight here.
Oh, he might walk in, though. We've seen someone walk up and smite before. They're close enough by.
He's going for it! He got it!
Picked up, puts in the dunk, but a quick charm buys some time. They can't save him. JayJ's going to drop. It's actually a kill, 1 for 1. Now continuing on, Black Shield buys a bit of space. Santorin has above stopwatch. A very, very low health backline is going to get shut down by that stab. Look at the kills come through fast and furious. 3-1 for Cloud9 plus the Drake.
And just like that, the tables have turned. Sneaky's the one getting the kills. Turtle is back in the fountain, and Cloud9 get everything out of that fight. Niski wasn't even there at the beginning. It was a 3v4. Svenskeren just goes in on Jarvan, combos the dragon, early smite on Santorin. He's able to land it afterwards, and that is going to be some turret plate money as a reward, even for Niski here, coming in with the Morgana, giant effect of the ultimate.
2,300 gold lead, and now an attempt towards the top side. Cool is down, but that turret is scary, so that's an ult burn for not much. As minions go down, and Licorice is going to go back and forth some more items, maybe recall.
All right, yeah, Svenskeren highlight here. He's got the bottom lane. You can see they push up the minion wave first, too, so that even means another minion wave FlyQuest are going to lose during this. But he EQs in. He's able to get the smite there. Oh, Santorin actually did not early smite. Doesn't look like he used the smite at all. Regardless, they get the first kill onto JayJ. Rakan, very squishy champion. They focus him down. It is going to be a trade in the end. Plus, an extra second kill for Sneaky on the Jinx. Infinity Edge not completed.
That's really big. So Power Spike is in for this bot laner. Sneaky can push and go for more turret damage here. Zap's going to land on a WildTurtle, and that'll be a couple hundred extra gold picked up as down goes one plate. And as long as Tom Kench is watching, a second one can drop pretty soon. Niski going to be rooted in place. Can't find the trade queue.
Yeah, I mean, especially at the first crit item completed here, when you just have Infinity Edge, even if you roll lucky, like a couple of rocket crits in a row is an insane advantage for the bottom lane. Meanwhile, WildTurtle, of course, still just has the flat damage, trying to go Essence Reaver, and they're under attack.
They're actually a cheaper item, so will get completed soon enough, but you can see now 2 plates have gone down. Every wave they get a new one. Half health now on this one. This is just a lot of damage coming through for Sneaky. Plenty of attack damage there. And not worried about getting dove because you've got a Tahm Kench. It's so easy to siege when you've got safety right behind you. Mid lane now getting cleared away as the points have come in. 3 points into Tormented Soil, 5 into the Dark Binding for Niski here. So that's scaling up. He's getting more and more wave clear over time. And now Pobelter has no longer got that push. He's got the farm lead. That was working well early on, but now here comes the attempt. They're going to find a knock-up and a root and a Zeyzal at the same time, but easily gives him the shield. More damage into JayJ, and Sneaky feels comfortable. Takes no turret shot, thanks to Devour.
Yeah, you can see them with confidence because Svenskeren comes over to hover behind them in case there is a visit from Rek'Sai. Junglers definitely, as soon as action breaks out, one of the biggest things, trying to go down to that lane, even just to cover counter ganks, gives you so much more confidence in trading back well and maintaining pressure in your lane.
And look at this pressure down here. The plates have dropped, but the turret's going to drop. First one of the game now. 3,000 gold puts Cloud9 ahead, and now Licorice does have flat burns it. Did have to get away from that gank duo of Santorin and Pobelter coming up.
Yeah, especially since they had a recall of the bottom lane, and they should be signaling that JayJ could be somewhere else on the map, heading up to that top side. Very frequently, top laners will get caught off guard and not respect the extra presence. Playing weak side of the map is an under-highlighted skill, especially for top laners that so often have to play that role. You got to back up, you got to give away cooldowns sometimes when the rest of your team is gaining advantages on the other side.
But even still, you can see these top laners are neck and neck in farm, and it's the one Ornn TP that caught him up. Now a nice charge, buys a bit of time, but they're still knocked up. Now flashless, a lot of damage coming through out of the Ornn. Gonna try to stay alive, but he's so outnumbered. Finally, Santorin grabs that kill as Svenskeren kites away. Second time's the charm here for FlyQuest.
Yep, there's the cost for Cloud9. First time he burns the flash, this time around goes into enemy territory, and he does get punished. Meanwhile, though, that means bottom side of the map is strong for Cloud9 as Sneaky finds some crits onto Turtle. And even though Pobelter threatening the roam, there's a Tahm Kench right here. Nothing will actually get done if he completes that roam and goes to the bottom side, so he heads back mid lane to pick up his own CS.
Have to overkill Tahm Kench to do it, so out they go, and instead he's, as you mentioned, grabbing the farm. And now more docile of a mid game, but it's already been 10 kills at 15 minutes. A fairly action-packed one, fights around Drake's. Next one spawning in 27 seconds. As FlyQuest are on the back foot here. When they last fought Cloud9, they had the lead early on, and it was turned around on them. This time around, C9. Pretty much off to the races.
Yeah, after that dragon fight, everything looking much better here for Cloud9. That was the swinging point here for bottom lane. They were able to get not only the kills onto Sneaky, but so much turret pressure. They mined a few plates before they even fell off, then also got the first turret of the game, and a huge opening here for them to continue on with pressure. You can see they're invading on the blue buff. They've established control around the second dragon spawn, and they should be able to have enough vision so that it makes it difficult for FlyQuest to face check around here. You know, one of the things about Morgana, of course, is that if you already have established vision control in Fog of War, the binding's so incredibly devastating and much more difficult to dodge.
This time Svenskeren has no one around to take the Drake away from him, so this one going to be an easier smite.
Well, he's the one who did the taking the first time.
That's what I mean. You know, like, FlyQuest trying to take his Drake away. He said, no, I still got the smite skills. This time around, he just gets it without anyone going nearby. They realize he's got the better smites, so.
All right, they're going to continue pushing on bottom side, and Viper doesn't have much to do against the Jinx Tahm Kench either. They're switching out the parts, but the answer is still the same.
Yeah, the Protobelt was already used. Couldn't knock down that one. And look at this. Viper at half health. Actually burns the ult on that. Just to get more damage across as Viper still going to be able to sustain, though, and isn't having too many problems killing the minions. His reinforcements show up in the name of Santorin.
All right. They were able to pop the Scryer's Bloom as well, which is a decent advantage as far as your vision control battles. When you're in the mid stage like this, people are less likely to drop extra money on all these control wards. You can see that FlyQuest are actually, you know, not going down that path. They're very liberally grabbing these control wards because they know just how important it is to keep up that defensive vision. In any case, though, still, C9 doing a very good job of closing in that pressure.
And as the red buff goes back over to Santorin and FlyQuest keep taking what gold they can, this match remains about 2,300 gold apart. Still a C9 lead, but waiting for the next move.
And the biggest discrepancy is, of course, the items for the marksman. Once again, we already highlighted as soon as Sneak was able to finish the Infinity Edge, but a Jinx with this early Runon's Infinity combo is a death sentence for a team fight. All that C9 need to do is keep Sneaky alive. You keep him auto-attacking, you win the team fight.
It's going to be pretty scary. 1,400 gold lead, and all of it realized on the items, on the inventory. I'm talking about the bot lane difference specifically. Sneaky, though, takes some damage, and Hurricane won't stop that from happening to you, so he does need Zeyzal nearby, does need Niski as the fight continues.
And that should enable him to itemize completely offensively, that you have a strong Morgana shield, you have a Tahm Kench on your side. But, of course, that's going to be operation number one here for FlyQuest, is find a way to stop that Jinx.
Now as Halo is summoned in the mid lane, the charge will pretty much one-shot the turret from this point, so it should be 2-0 turrets here. Charge comes in, down it goes. They were, I believe, in range for the gold, so no problems. Still 3,000 apart, though the motion for 500 not initialized as items just yet. Bit of damage towards Turtle. Herald finally goes down as the wave clear comes through as well from this Jinx.
And they've already made the call here to continue split pushing, sending Pobelter up to the top side. FlyQuest know that it's just so difficult to deal with this 5-on-5 advantage C9 have been able to accrue. But again, they also have a Tahm Kench. Very mobile here, and they're not going to let Pobelter get away with much in the way of side lane pressure.
Pobelter just sitting here in this lane. He's happy just to hit the minions with Qs. You can see Sneaky, the one getting most of this farm. You can see 190 CS for him. Takes down that cannon with help of the Tahm Kench, and once again walking towards the turret, then walking down. They don't want to deal with LeBlanc under a turret.
Yeah, I mean, from this point on, it just becomes so difficult for FlyQuest. They have to make a surprise play here, and they're sending 3 people to the top side.
Damage Charmer's not going to land here, but in goes the big damage. Rek'Sai exhaust buys a bit of health as well. Now back in the way out, could be stun. Rocket puts him to 1 HP. GA is down, and now they're re-engage a lot in towards JayJ. 1 kill picked up. A flash out for Santorin. Viper's in the front line, but can't do much of anything with that one. As Pobelter's pushed out now by Svenskeren. They've got the route on towards Vlad. Sanguine Pool, but where can he really go? Looks for an empowered Q, can't just find it. Now looking to get away from this. The health bar low. The feathers fly. They look for the roof, but a stopwatch buys even more time. Finally, Viper goes down to Niski, and they find a second one as well. That's 3 in a row for C9's side without anything turned around.
And that could even be a Baron turn at this moment. We're only 20 minutes into the game with 40 seconds left, and C9 easily are able to take up this objective. This game is wide open.
Licorice holds the front line and makes sure no one comes into that pit. This is going to be absolutely burned down. That tower dive from Cloud9 got them everything they needed and absolute control over the game.
All right, they were able to check the box, protect Sneaky, he stays alive. Flash there used to ensure that they also are able to lock up the counter kill. And with all the teleports coming in, all of C9 collapsing here, they're able to pull it back. Heal goes off right before the Rek'Sai ultimate lands, by the way. You definitely need to do that for execute damage. C9 teleports do come through, bindings land, and under the turret here, they're able to land all their skill shots on FlyQuest. Another binding landing. This one also nullifies a lot of the Vladimir pool, so Viper can't use it to gain enough distance to get out of there. Then everybody's flashing forwards. Svenskeren's in with the Cataclysm. Niski's in with the Morgana, and they're able to pick the rest of them up.
WildTurtle flashed out of range, but flashed into Cataclysm in doing so and had no way out. Really unfortunate, but now topside, easily taking that shot. Almost finds the knockup, it's close, but now Pobelter almost gets bound for eternity, but gets away from that one. Still, that turret can't run.
It's still a Baroned up C9, so they're going to push much quicker than the Vladimir that FlyQuest have sent down bottom side. FlyQuest are trying to get something back because these turrets are pretty much indefensible, whether they have 5 people or 4, and they're just going to try and have Viper get a little bit of money on an outer turret. It would be their first of the game, but he doesn't have much time because C9 aren't stopping. They're at the inhibitor door already.
Depends if FlyQuest makes the call to give up the inhibitor or not. There's only 4 minutes in this wave, but Black Shield on
He's
Jinx
recalling. It's going to be gone.
Okay, makes him very, very safe, but the turret's going to fall below half HP. They're still burning this one down. If they stay, look at the turret before Vlad can get in range. Indeed, they will, and now to even teamfight with the turret already gone. C9 have the 5 still here, ready to keep pushing forward, ready to push the squad away, and indeed, FlyQuest say, you know what, you're right. We got to get a turret, but we got to leave now. The inhibitor's gone.
And Cloud9 looking like they're going to make some quick work of this one. Inhibitor's down, and Sneaky's excited.
Damage out of Viper, it's about half HP, waiting for the next wave in the mid lane. They don't have it just yet. They can still look top side, but going for next turret's a little bit difficult. They find another slow, they look for a bind, not going to get that one either. FlyQuest hold on to this Nexus turret, but there's now a wave in the mid side. They come right back over, looking for the siege yet again. 5-on-5. Will there be a defense? FlyQuest not pulling the trigger. They're going to give this structure up as well. Still 9-4 in kills, but they're getting pushed out by the high range of the Jinx. Upgraded Infinity Edge already there thanks to Omran. Double inhibs are gone. Still a minute left on Baron, and C9 not stopping, still going forward, looking for something to do with the minion waves reinforcing from mid lane and top lane soon after.
C9 just took 7 objectives in about 4 minutes of this game. Absolutely crushing lead now with 2 inhibitors down and super minions into the base. They're still using the last couple seconds of this Baron buff. Another 40 seconds left, and the destruction will continue.
Bot tier 2 looks easy for this one. No one's even on the screen right now, and it's 8-1 in turrets. That single one picked up as trade for an inhibitor itself. Now, continuing the siege at 30 seconds on the Baron buff, looking for an engage on the bot side. Svenskeren's at half. Gonna find a slow and a knockout to Pobelter. Will they dive? Yes! They one-shot the guy under that base gate, and now look out on the top side. It's Svenskeren killing himself. There's a bit of a brother here, but they're gonna keep trying now. Vladimir cannot find the back line, cannot knock down Sneaky, putting in the damage. That Vlad will die, and there's not any reinforcements left. JayJ can't stop the base by himself. He's running for the hills, but he's certainly going to die on this one. The minions reinforce. The Nexus will fall, and Cloud9 in a sub-25-minute win will lock themselves the second bye in the LCS.
Cloud9 have got something to do. No time to wait around, and that Nexus is going down.
What a fast win there. Baron picked up at 20:45, dancing in front of the steps. They know it's over. They're looking to pad their damage per minute stats for a little bit. Finally, it goes down. Sub-25 and a second seed for Cloud9.
Talk about looking strong heading into playoffs. Remember, this could very well be a playoffs preview with FlyQuest also being there and a possible opponent. Quite a statement game here from C9.
That's a big win, and it stops the streak of the top teams giving away games here at the last couple weeks of games. Team Liquid lost a couple, C9 lost not long ago to Echo Fox, but have found their footing once again in a statement win, as you mentioned. Solid stuff all around the map, and those team fights were absolutely brutal. Former teammates hug, and off to the high fives they go. C9 second seed.
Once Sneaky got Infinity Edge, it was all downhill for FlyQuest after that.
Yeah.
After just that dragon fight, they snowballed so quickly.
It also means FlyQuest can now be caught. You talked about playoff previews. Golden Guardians will face FlyQuest tomorrow. If GGS win, they will tie them in the standings, tie them in head-to-head. They will tie-break for 4th seed. That's what's going to happen there, and that will mean side selection in that quarterfinal as we wait to lock in the last few teams of playoffs. But to also break down that C9 victory, let's send it down to the State Farm analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Freak. That was an insanely dominant win out of Cloud9 to lock their bye, second place, moving into the postseason.
Reinforcing their dominant position, saying, okay, you made it into playoffs, but there's definitely a hierarchy between these playoff teams.
Yeah, with C9 or with TL losing and you have TSM looking good, I was like, maybe it's a 4-horse race, and C9 put an end to that conversation.
Back to 3 horses.
Yeah, it's 3 horses. Yeah, I'm wrong.
Well, let's take a look at how they did it, because earlier we were having the conversation around Team Liquid and the team composition that they came to the table with today, saying it's not quite the level of experimentation that you would expect maybe out of a team that has already locked their seed in the playoffs. For Cloud9, even not being necessarily locked today, they do try something to some degree. It's not crazy out of the box, but they came with some new picks for them this split.
Well, the pick that I really was excited about was the Morgana in the mid lane out of Niski, because she's a champion that we usually see in the support role, but she fits a really good role in the current meta. You shove, you roam, you have a lot of damage up front early on. You basically need Merc Treads against her, and best of all, that Black Shield is so annoying later into the game.
Yeah, plus it's not just like, okay, these are a bunch of new champs for C9. They haven't played these a ton. It's not just that, it's how they all work together. This is a single carry composition in a meta where you almost never see that, and it's imperative that they're able to keep Sneaky alive during all of this, and so the other members of C9 can kind of overextend, and it's not a huge deal. Sneaky this whole time in this fight, untouched in the backline mostly, able to keep pumping out the damage, and it's not like just because it's a single hyper carry threat, like Morgana still does a lot of damage. When she flashes in there, people haven't seen Morgana mid in a minute, and it actually did a lot more damage than I remember.
Yeah, deceptive amounts of damage when she has a little bit of AP behind it all. We go to the top side. Similarly, you can see how hard it is for FlyQuest to get onto Sneaky.
Yeah, so they're really trying to take him out right now, but Sneaky doesn't do a whole lot besides this initial engage. It's the rest of the team that comes into play. Ornn really strong, and now they have the option of just going full steam ahead, and they're going to go for a huge tower dive, and it's Svenskeren that is positioning himself, making sure that, okay, can I get the knockup when the team is ready to follow up? And he's saving his Cataclysm. That's the real key ability here, making sure that when Vlad flashes, he's got it. And Sneaky didn't do a single auto attack there, and the fight was still a whitewash.
Yeah, he basically popped Santorin at the beginning, but then the rest of the time it was the team, and they had so much CC, they had utility in the Black Shield and the Tahm Kench Devour, they have the attack speed buff from Jarvan Standard, they had such a well-balanced team comp, and it is so different from what we were seeing. And that's what we're saying compared to Team Liquid, who it's like, well, we played nerfed Urgot. We're experimenting. It's like, no, you weren't. You played a standard team fight comp. This is not. While it is a front-to-back team fight comp, it has far fewer DPS carries.
And while, as you mentioned, Sneaky didn't, output an insane amount of damage in that fight, you see the value in protecting that all-important carry and therefore forcing the other team to overcommit and use too many of their abilities offensively that now, when they don't get the kill, full retreat mode. But as you mentioned, you've got the flag and drag to follow. You've got, Morgana, who's now got move speed on her ultimate and different ways to get back into the fight.
But I'm going to call it now and think that what Cloud9 did right now is probably what we're going to see in playoffs as the meta develops, because we saw 2 games of Kog'Maw today. Last week, it was all about Vayne, lots of jinxes. So a lot of hyper carries are coming out right now. Morgana in the mid lane is a beautiful answer to protecting your hyper carry against Lissandras and Ryzes that are really valuable, against all the hard engage. And if your AD carry is really good, they're going to essentially win the game for you just with a mid lane that helps in the synergy.
It's a really interesting conversation about where the meta is going to go, because Ornn, a little bit weaker laning phase, but come, mid to late game with all those masterwork items he gets every level, it becomes pretty ridiculous. Plus, then you have Kale potentially coming into the meta. It's already being played in Academy, and it looks
we're waiting for
strong,
it.
And 9.6 going to be even stronger. So you start looking at all these late game team comps that are going to be coming up. Maybe C9's a little bit ahead with the meta.
Yeah, we'll have to see if any other teams decide to pick it up. We saw the Lulu today alongside that Kog'Maw. So just even more people kind of indexing into, all right, 80 carries, all right, have that power, have the potential to carry. We just got to make sure we can get them to that point. It did seem like that point in this game came a little earlier than it should have. I heard Kobe mentioned right at the end of the he goes, the IE came in and it was all over for FlyQuest. I'm like, wait, that's not when that's supposed to happen. Shouldn't there be at least a zeal or two behind that?
I think it was just from the comp. What do you do when you're LeBlanc against Morgana? Right? Like,
Ask Faker.
Who do you engage?
You don't do much.
Exactly, right? Remember, at MSI, Faker was undefeated on LeBlanc, and the counter pick was Morgana, and that shut that champion down. So maybe it's a good answer against Zoe as well. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble's not going to hit you. So it definitely has a good place in the meta right now. And they tried it here and maybe trying it a little bit too early.
Right, almost showing your cards. Showing your cards.
I think it's not just, the pick and the lane matchup and how it works, but I think C9 is actually a really smart team, because when FlyQuest starts putting LeBlanc in the side lane, that's so much better for a LeBlanc than a Morgana with no escapes, who can get ulted in on all this stuff. And what they do, they match their marksman against it so they can collapse on the marksman. So it was Jinx versus LeBlanc. And that's what set up that game-winning fight where they got the Baron buff, was they were not matching just because, well, their mid laner's top. Like, C9 was thinking about the proper lane assignments.
C9 is locked into that second place bye for FlyQuest. It was mentioned already that they're up against Golden Guardians tomorrow, and it could now be a bit of contention between the two of them to avoid a tiebreaker and really hold on to that 4th place slot. How do you feel about FlyQuest? I know we did say back to a 3-horse race. Can we really condemn them, though, after one game against the 2nd place team?
I don't think you can, because Cloud9 is obviously shooting for the top. They're always working on making sure that the competition is not catching up to them. So they have to innovate so much more than FlyQuest, whereas they're just happy, make it into playoffs, trying to get a couple of wins. So they're sticking to the game plan that already worked for them and trying to perfect that. So it is unfortunate that they met C9 right now. And if anything, they've learned something here, and they're going to apply it for their next game.
Feels good for Cloud9 fans as they pick up that 2nd place bye. For more on that win, Ovly is standing by with an interview of the C9 bot lane.
Thanks, Dash. Don't mind us. We were just talking about Sneaky's cosplay over here. But guys, congratulations on the win. And Sneaky, we were kind of listening in on what the analyst desk were talking about. And they said in some plays, like, oh, he just wasn't even auto-attacking or anything. So what did you think about your game against FlyQuest today?
I mean, it was a pretty good game from us. We ended up stopping their dragon and got a bunch of kills, and the game just absolutely snowballed from there. Like I just siege bot turret. We took the turret, and then once you take the turret as Jinx, it's so easy to win because you just do that everywhere pretty much, and they can't really fight just because of the range. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad my team is able to do stuff when we're playing a single hyper carry comp because I don't want to be the only one doing anything. And you know, like if I ever die, it's like, oh, we lost, but it's not the case with this team comp.
I mean, you're always going to have Zeyzal beside you, supporting you and holding you up. But I mean, with this win, you guys have locked in second place or second seed, excuse me, as well as a bye going into playoffs, which means that you get a nice week off to prepare. So how are you guys going to use that?
I guess we've got a few surprises for how we'll use it, but I think it'll be exciting. And it's always nice to have a week off. We didn't have that luxury last split, so this is my first time I've had a bye. So I guess I don't really know for that answer, but we do have something exciting prepared.
Wait, who was the second seed last time? Summer.
Of summer? It was.
Not us?
Wait.
Weren't-
Oh,
weren't
wait,
you?
it was.
Yeah,
Did we have a
I
bye?
thought it
Oh,
was
we
us.
did. We did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait.
Hello, you're the pro here.
Oh yeah. We played. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, you're searching for your mind there. Did you happen to see today's game of Team Liquid versus Echo Fox? Because just like last week, Echo Fox just kind of wiped the floor with Team Liquid, and they're sitting there as the first seed. So what do you really think about Team Liquid dropping a game?
I mean, Echo Fox are just the Titan killers. They beat every high seed. What can you do? You just lose.
So is it just Rush? Because that's what they're crediting
It's Rush
it to.
Jarvan. He's too insane at that champion. He just goes in. He looks at you. He goes in.
But in all seriousness, kind of looking at Team Liquid, they did also drop the game, not only to Fox, but to FlyQuest last week. We've seen them as kind of the dominant team in the LCS, you guys trailing right behind them. What do you think about the strength of Team Liquid right now and kind of as we go into playoffs?
I mean, it might have just been a bit of complacency because, you know, they locked in first seed pretty early, and then they kind of don't feel as much pressure to perform right now. And I'm not saying that they're like trolling in game or anything, but just in their practice in general, they probably weren't as serious overall. That'd be my guess. I don't actually know. I'm just thinking up stuff. But yeah, that would be my guess as to why they're dropping 2 games already. That wasn't to any like high seed or anything.
Mm-hmm. Anything that you think?
Yeah, I definitely think like last split when we had to win every single game, it was much like easier to improve because there's so much incentive. But once you lock in first, I could see how it would be easy to slack or maybe not take every game as serious, even if not intentionally.
Now you guys, again, are sitting safe along with Team Liquid going into playoffs. We have quarters next week, and so far locked, we have Golden Guardians qualified today, as well as FlyQuest and TSM. Who do you guys think is going to fill that last spot?
I'm not sure. I don't remember the standings. Isn't Optic out,
Between Optic and CLG.
right? Oh, Optic's able to be in?
It just depends on who they play, right?
Yeah.
Do they play each other?
CLG plays 100 Thieves today. That's our next game coming up.
And then 100 Thieves has like the almost full Academy roster too. It could work because, I mean, Clutch looked pretty good in their game versus TSM today. And then Echo Fox, BTL. So there's been a lot of upsets already. So I can see 100 Thieves winning and
100 Thieves
taking
winning.
out CLG, not being the free win. I don't know. It's really hard to call between CLG Optic. They both look around similar levels. And it's just up to whoever can win today.
Got it. Well, I'm excited.